Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your gameplay for the Jaguar GR.1. This is a currently ranked 6, battle rating 9.7 strike fighter for the Great Britain Air Tech Tree. This vehicle is, and I know I say it quite a bit, but I really mean it, this is one of my favorite aircraft in War Thunder, simply because of its versatility. This can pretty much do anything that you want it to do, and then some. It can be a fighter, it can be a bomber, strike aircraft, whatever you want. In general, it will be able to do it pretty damn well. Now, unfortunately, it does lack countermeasures, but at 9.7 BR, that's not the most grievous sin in War Thunder. Now, if you want countermeasures and a more powerful engine, you can simply go up to the GR1A, which features the same AIM-9G missiles, 2 of them, but you get 60 countermeasures with this, plus you get slightly stronger engines. As you can see, this has 3,350 kilograms of force, whereas this is 3,090. So you're looking at around 10% more thrust with the Jaguar GR1A versus the GR1. Now, when it comes to just max thrust, so non-afterburning, they're almost identical, especially when you consider the fact that I believe the GR1 is slightly lighter. It really doesn't matter until you put those afterburners on, and at that point, it does make a bit of a difference. But that being said, let's get into some gameplay. I do have some gameplay for the GR1A if you guys want to look at that. I'll try to link that down below. But either way, let's get into it. Have a good time with this beautiful plane. Like, look at this thing, right? It's awesome. Let's get into it. So when it comes down to basic performance, obviously the GR1A is a bit better, because it does have those more powerful engines. But when it comes to just air battles, I would say the GR1, the standard GR1, is possibly, stands the fact that it lacks countermeasures, but it's possibly at a better advantage. If you just take away defensive, everything aside, because this gets 0.6 BR lower, or because it is 0.6 BR lower, it almost feels a bit better than the GR1A. Of course, they're both great. We got like a 2.5 KD, I think, with the GR1A. This one's probably fairly similar. And, at this BR, it's not as important to have countermeasures. But when it comes to a strike aircraft, the GR1A, every day, all day, you know how it is. It's just a much better aircraft when it comes to that. But this, at least relative to BR, is somewhat comparable to the GR1A, and you might say that even without those countermeasures, you are getting an advantage by being at 9.7 as opposed to 10.3, which I would almost kind of agree with that. So we have some an F-104 over here. The AIM-9Gs are fantastic. However, of course, with F-104s especially, you have to make sure that you are within a fairly low range. I don't want to rip my wings off. I might launch on him now. Looks like he might be turning. Certainly, hopefully losing some speed here. Got the kill. Very nice. So this is actually a very nice turning aircraft. I love it for that. Can I get a kill? I forget, do the F-104Cs have... Okay. Can I get the kill? Probably not. I hate fighting F-104s so much because of how slender they are. But these 30s are fantastic. Do not want to be in front of that guy when he's firing. Do have an F-5C behind me. I'm really surprised I've not been shot out of the sky. But here we are. I just got shot out of the sky. So just because I like the commentary in the beginning part of it, and I kind of go over exactly what I like about this vehicle, let's get into another match. This will be kind of a decent explainer match, and then we can kind of go from there. Let's get into it. Now, of course, again, this is not at all a slow vehicle, but it does take a bit of time to get up to speed. Like, this is not the English Electric Lightning, right? Like, this is not the F6. However, it does still gain a good amount of speed, where, again, it's like, of course, when you use the GR1A, you're kind of like, oh, well, this is great, but when you use this, especially considering it's in a lower BR, it's not really all too much of a loss. So I don't really mind it as much. Now, you do lose a lot, and I do mean a lot, of energy when in a turn And this does not get it back very quickly. So that does kind of suck. Gonna want to kind of get behind this guy. I've had this thing running for way too damn long. Can I get the hit? I should be able to. Hopefully he doesn't J out. Got the kill. Very nice. Very easy. Gotta love it. So let's get back up in the sky a bit. Now, again, when you do have a lack of thrust, these vertical, you really can't go vertical all too well. Like, you have to kind of take this thing at, I don't know, like, what type of angle this is. Like, 10 degree, 15 degree angle. You really can't take it all too vertically, and you're not going to be able to outpace things like, well, the T2 right there, or even the F5. But you still get through, I think, just enough where it's not all too much of a concern. Plus, the fact is, this has AIM-9Gs, whereas the GR1A also has AIM-9Gs, but, again, you have that nice low BR. Now, I don't believe the T2 has any countermeasures, but, okay, these F5s are back in the conga line, so I'm going to try to sneak up on this fella here. Get real nice and close with him. Get to know him real well. And I don't think he even knows I'm here. I'm hoping. And he does not. Very good. We have an F5 here. Now, you always want to get, as I say, in the back of the conga line when it comes to shooting out enemy aircraft, simply because what happens is if you kind of jump in between 2 or 3 planes that are fighting each other, then whoever's in the back is going to have the advantage over you. So you always want to make sure that you are the one in the back, barring some weird circumstances. Okay, it appears as though we are in a bit of an up tier. Typically, if you're in an up tier, maybe 10.0, possibly even 10.3 at most. But this time does appear to be a bit worse. Did not get a hit on him. Not too worried about that. We have some A5s. Hopefully they are unaware of me. Because if they are, then, well, that could be a good thing. So I'm going to sneak up behind them. Got that, and got that. Can I get a hit? I got one, and that's it. Can't complain, though. I got one hit against an A5C. A5Cs, by the way, are one of my favorite planes in war. I keep saying one of my favorite, you know, but really, like, if I'm out here using my least favorite vehicles, that's gonna suck, right? Like, you don't do that. Like, of course, unless, like, you want to spade the vehicle. But in my opinion, no, you don't really use your least favorite of anything, because what's the point? This is a game... Oh, are you serious? He ripped his wing! This is a game that you play, and you should enjoy it. Never play a game that you don't enjoy. Tankenstein life lessons for you. I mean, that's not even a Tankenstein. That's just a, you know... Don't do something that you don't enjoy, unless, like, you literally need to for money. I almost hit that guy. That would have been my fault. Well, maybe. Yeah, it probably would have been my fault. So I got this Su-25 here. Hopefully I can lay the smack down on him. Ooh, very nice. Good choice, my sir. Good choice, good sir. And do not mind that one bit. So I'm going to go back and land right now. It's been a bunch of 2-kill matches. 3 I think, yeah, all of them have been thus far 2 kills. But, in my opinion, fairly reasonable. You know, I mean, this is what you can kind of expect. And the thing is, with kill-death ratio, of course, like, you can get into a match and not get any kills one match, and then get into the next match and get 2 kills. And both those matches, you don't die, you still have a 2-to-1 kill-death ratio, right? So, that's kind of how I look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and land, get some more ammunition, refuel, and come back, and hopefully we can still have some enemies left. But it looks like we are dominating these guys pretty damn bad. Also, when it comes to the GR1A, if you guys didn't know, it has the top-mounted missile, whatchamacallit, the hard point, so to speak, which also allows for more 1,000-pound bombs, or if you want, 500-pound bombs underneath. So it's a really, really cool thing. Plus, it has a targeting pod, so which is why the GR1A is, of course, a bit better for ground strike. So that said, let's land. Oh yeah, and it's a very important thing to remember, guys. It's only a bad match if you aren't happy with it. Always remember that, you know? Personally, I'm only really happy with matches in which I get a few kills. But, you know, if that's not your goal for success, then, you know, do something else. Also, this has very strong flaps. I think you can get them upwards of 600 plus kilometers per hour, which on a vehicle of this BR is pretty damn good. So initially I was thinking to myself, you know what, let's go ahead and just strap 6 1,000-pound bombs to this thing, use it as a strike fighter in this match. But the problem with that, quite simply, is that the performance just gets annihilated, which is, again, one of the reasons why the GR1A is better for strike. Now, this does have ballistic computers, believe it or not. You could equip that, or I believe it's Snap rockets, it might be. Either that or it's the Mighty Mouse, but it's one of those, you know, NATO rocket pods. Either way, it's really, really good. But again, the GR1A is a bit better, and I believe can also carry guided bombs, so you do have that as well. But this thing will struggle to get beyond 1,000 kilometers per hour, and by the time you reach it, you're going to be down half your fuel, which is not good. Which, by the way, that's one of the big problems with this vehicle, is the fuel. Believe it or not, it does... Oh, geez, that guy scared the bojangles out of me. For a second. Woohoo! Anyways, so I don't want to fight that F5 head-on. That's not going to be a good thing. But, you know what? If he makes a good move like he is now... Yes, please! Okay, let me see that tail feather, so to speak, and get a positive launch on him. We are 2.5, and AIM-9G at this range might hit him. It looks like it will, and it does! There we go. I don't think that this F5 knows I'm here, so you want to slap on them air brakes. Yeah, he is definitely laden with bombs. Go ahead and launch a little bit up, and he knows I'm here. Good for that guy. It doesn't appear as though I've got anyone behind me. He will be able to outspeed me, if just by a little, but the F5 does definitely have a little bit more juice than this. Although, honestly, not all too much. So let's go ahead and see. I'm just going to fire some shots, see if I can get him to kind of jump a little bit. He's going to go down there. Want to maintain altitude, so when he gets back up, I will be able to hopefully... Ooh, that's ugly. But I still have half my ammunition left, which is obviously good. Got the kill. Very nice. Now, whether or not that was pretty, obviously it wasn't. But we do have an enemy way up there. Again, this is just such a well-balanced plane. I mean, it's just... The fact that you don't hear about Jaguars... Oh, I'm dead. No, I'm not. The fact that you do not hear about Jaguars more often is honestly kind of befuddling to me. At least in the fighter role, like, this thing works as a fighter. You know, I mean, it's not as pure of a fighter as, let's say, an F5, for example, whether you're talking about the A or the C or the E variant. Oh, I am dead. But it's still really, really good. So, you know what? I kind of want to get into one more match because these have been such short matches. But, I mean, thus far, it's been good enough. You know, like, this vehicle... I've been getting a lot of 2 and 3 kill matches with it, and the thing is, I've not actually, outside of more than once or twice, died. So it's like, yeah, you might only get 2 kills, but if you're not dying, that's really, really good. So I'm just going to eject out. You know, I'm going to make him fight for this. Use up some ammo. That way he can benefit my team, because now he has less ammo. So that said, let's get into one final match, see what we could do. I'll just equip some 1,000-pound bombs and go for it. So, as I was kind of saying, this thing with 1,000-pound bombs is at least fully loaded. Now, bear in mind that you can actually use custom loadouts, but I am hardly at 1,000 kilometers per hour. I mean, this thing goes into... It just turns into a slug, pretty much. So, it really kills the performance, whereas the GR1A can equip 2 1,000-pound bombs, 2 more of them, for a total of 8, because it has those overwing... whatchamacallits, which is nice, but again, that's going to further limit your performance, even though, of course, those will, that plane has around 10% more thrust. So, we have an F-104 here. He's probably going to go for me. Maybe. I am so bad at shooting these things. F-104s are the bane of my existence, by the way. If you guys didn't know, he's dead, so it doesn't really matter. But it's just because of how slender they are. It's the same reason why I don't fight Yak 38, like the NPCs, the bots. I don't fight them simply because they are just far too slender and oftentimes too fast. So it's just tough to kind of get a beat on them. But we do have this F5. Can't get a hit. Now, my performance is pretty much murdered, if you guys couldn't tell. So let's go ahead and just drop all of the... You know, I'm going to drop 4 of them on it, see if that does anything, or see what it does, rather. And then drop the other 2 on it if it needs them, and if not, drop them elsewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got that many up. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go drop the remainder of them up here, because I can. Perfect. Now we have this A10 over here, which I can just go for. Hopefully I can get behind him a little bit. Doesn't really matter so much. So I'm just going to launch on him. Hopefully he doesn't notice. Very nice. Got a kill. A10s are my favorite to kill, by the way, if you guys didn't know. Just because, no offense, but the people who play them typically have no idea what they're doing. You know, but right now I've got about 2 tons of bombs, explosive filler at least, dropped on the enemy, which is always nice. And again, I mean, a lot of this gameplay, it's just so you guys can see, you know, what's the GR1 all about. And again, this plane is extremely versatile, and it can do more or less everything that you want. Well, not everything, I suppose, but most things. So let's go ahead and launch a missile on him. I should be close enough for it to hit an F-104. Yes, I am. Still got 2 kills despite having such a drain on my performance to start this match. I mean, like, you saw 5 or 6 1,000-pound bombs kills you. But if you have... Oh, wow, this is foggy, man. I can't see poop. But if you have the GR1A, you can carry 2 more, and you also have 2... the engines are a bit stronger, so even if you don't carry 2 more, you will have better performance, plus countermeasures. But as you could see in this gameplay, I mean, really the only times where I've died have been via, whatchamacallit, guns. I don't really think missiles have killed me. If they have, it's been like once or twice. You know, it's not been all too common of an occurrence, which makes some level of sense at this BR. So, you know, I really don't think it matters all too much that I don't have countermeasures. If I didn't have countermeasures with the GR1A, then we'd have a problem. We'd have a big, big problem. So I'm just going to go drop on this light pillbox real quick, pull up, and start to go back to town here, because I got no fuel left, or at least hardly any. Got that. So, if I haven't already said it, the thing I look at when it comes to success in a match, right? There's 3 main things. 1, okay, we're about to win here. 1 is a win. You know, if you guys come out with a win, that's the #1 thing about success. Number 2 is your score. That's more on an individual level, but of course, the more you help your team, the higher your score typically is, and the higher chance of win is. And 3rd, kills. You know, kills or assists. Not just kills, but you really just want to do that, and that's what the Jaguar GR1 does. It does so much. It helps your team win. Like, yeah, you can get kills and all that, but there have been how many matches? I've been in numerous matches where we have been down to the wire, and as I was saying, the enemy team, they might only have 1 person left, and we might have 5 or 6, but guess who has more tickets, and guess who has fewer tickets, and the enemy team ends up winning. And that's what the Jaguar GR1 helps to prevent, because it does everything you could ask, and then some. This is a great overall aircraft, and extremely versatile. By the way, thanks so much for watching. Please, if you don't mind, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the Jaguar GR1 in the comments below, as well as the GR1A. This thing is just beautiful. They're both so cool. They're kind of like pre-tornado tornadoes. You know, they're like mini tornadoes, and I love them. But either way, thanks again, and I will see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone, and expect a Tornado F3 stock dissipated in the future.